Let's pick up on a story we've been monitoring since last week. Over 400 disconnections in the city of Tshwane following last week's drive to force businesses, government departments and embassies to make good on their outstanding electricity bills to the city. Now, the capital's under increasing pressure from Eskom to settle what it owes, so it's putting pressure on payment defaulters in turn. Some businesses, though, are now approaching the courts for relief, a move the city says it's going to vigorously oppose. Our senior reporter, Barry Bateman, has been following the story and joins us now. Hello, Barry. So just tell me, how much has been paid up since the squeeze began from the city of Tshwane? How much still has to be paid by defaulters?
Yeah, good afternoon, Sally. Well, first off, about 450 disconnections took place between the start of the campaign, which was early last week, and up until today, of which there has been a recovery. So those 450 entities that were disconnected owed 420 million rand. So far, about 75 million rand in unpaid debt has been paid back to the city, but it's still a long way to go. More than R1 billion in total is, of course, owed, and the city is making it quite clear that it's not going to be backing down just yet. I've been following the social media today, and the City of Tshwane's official account still putting up updates. Looking at that big hotel in Pretoria, Menlyn Main, over there, we got a photo, the city saying looks can be deceiving, that this particular facility owes several million rand. So they're certainly not stopping now.
It's interesting that some people have been able to pay the bills they owe, which means that they were just essentially holding out. But some are saying that they believe it's unlawful what the city is doing, and they've actually gone to court. Tell us about this.
Yeah, quite right, Sally. So people who, we had an incident last week. I was actually out there in Centurion in Clubview, where a little shopping centre was cut off, had their water and electricity disconnected because they owed millions to the city of Tshwane. It was owned by a Karim, this particular business. They immediately went to court and they successfully secured an interdict against the city. Well, the city has come out and said, but hang on a second. What's happening here is that these types of entities are going to the court at short notice and not giving the City of Tshwane ample or enough time to be able to prepare a proper response to the application, but they certainly will do so going forward. I've also spoken to the University of Pretoria. They were threatened with disconnection last week, but their matter relates to a rates matter. All their other finances are up to date, so they say that is unfair. But I've also spoken to a property manager where they have an existing dispute related to a faulty meter. So they've been querying this for months, saying that there's a problem with this, but despite this, they were cut off on Friday. They also went to the court and successfully secured an interdict. Now, I have those interviews with the University of Pretoria as well as his property manager. Take a listen.
And this is but one property and one section of a property where there's a dispute regarding rates and taxes. So it's about the valuation of the property. It's got nothing to do with electricity. We are all paid up with our electricity, water usage, all of that. Our utilities for all our campuses, 7 campuses, are paid up. We all in support of the City of Tshwane collecting its debts. I mean, we support the effort 100%. It's important. We need a proper functioning city council. But it needs to be done in a responsible manner. The campus behind me, the campus where they threatened to cut off the electricity, is home to student residences. It's home to some of very sensitive experiments, data centers, live animals. So that would have had a huge impact if the electricity was interrupted, especially if it was done over a weekend.
The dispute so far was an incorrect meter that was installed that started charging us excessive amounts, and it was a process of about 2 years, emails back and forth with formal dispute documents and everything else in between. Unfortunately, they didn't manage to get it right to cut all of the erroneous amounts off, so they still cut us off for about 400,000.
So it seems there are some fairly legitimate reasons why some entities have not been paying. But what is the city saying?
Well, the city remains resolute, Sally, that they're going to continue with this. And my question, and I spoke to the MMC for Finance, well, are you satisfied that all your mechanisms and administration and all the requirements are in place? And he was insisting, this is Peter Sutton, he was insisting that everything is correct and they are going to continue with this disconnection campaign, appealing to consumers who are in the red to come forward and to make the necessary arrangements, and also saying that where companies or entities do take the city to court, they will be there to defend their actions. Take a listen to what Peter Sutton had to say.
We do take quite a bit of effort to make sure we go through those accounts the day before the time, and we do not target where there are pending disputes. What's very important to note, though, is if you have a dispute on a specific service, like electricity or water, only that service is in dispute. What often happens is people seem to be under the impression that the entire account is under dispute, so they don't pay for any services. And that's where often those disconnections are not entailed to the specific amount in dispute, but to other services that are not being paid for. We encourage people who have a dispute, a pending dispute, to follow the process. We have a Zoom billing platform where people can engage with a city via Zoom platform. We have a call center, we have the walk-in centers, we have the customer care centers, and we urge them to please, if they know their accounts are in arrears or they're not sure about the dispute, please to act before the credit controllers arrive at their front door.
It's a fascinating process to see it unfold and to find out all the reasons, some legitimate, I would imagine some not, for not actually paying for your power. Thank you so much for that update. Our reporter Barry Bateman there.